How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Daily Endeavours for Monday the 11th of August. My name is Jackson. As always, if you are looking for one endeavour in particular that you just want to do, you can skip through in the timestamps to whatever you want to look at if you just want to skip everything else. So just before I get into endeavours themselves, I just want to point out the Unfeathered crate set is in the Seals of Endeavour store right now, and it's mostly like Meridia related stuff. Usually I go for the cinch mounts, but I don't know why, I just don't like the tail. It looks really short with this one. It's kind of weird. You've got the Lich polymorph if people like that. The Legionnaires recall, this seems to be a pretty popular one, so that's how you get access to this. You get an interesting furnishing as well. One of my the most interesting ones to me though is this camel here. So there are not many mounts in this game that I know of that are 2,000 seals. That's pretty cheap, considering that most mounts usually, the basic ones usually default at around 3,600, whereas this one here you can get it for 2,000. So that's, even though yes, it's quite a funny looking mount, it's pretty fucking cheap for just an epic reward. Usually this is like pets and stuff. Other than, I guess, you've also got the mullet haircut. It's like the business at the front, fun at the back sort of thing. Oh yeah, also, unlike the... because I don't know if people remember the Shade polymorph that you were able to get with the, like, the Void Crown Crate bundle. The Armor of the Unfeathered, it doesn't show up like that one did, so yeah, unfortunately, the only way to get this is literally to fucking pay like 80 bucks. Still one of the most ridiculous things in this game, I think, is like for just purchasing. Get into endeavors. So in my opinion, these three here are great. These two here, not so much. The issue with this one is if you don't have any, like, there's only one way to get tons really quick, and basically you just have to prep for age, like, you have to do like 2 runs in advance, like 2 full runs, and that's like an hour of work, or like 2 hours of work, just to get this done really quick. This is not really worth it, I think. And then award medals and battlegrounds. Being able to, I find this one to be like a catch-22. So you have to be pretty good at battlegrounds to easily or like reliably get 1,000 medals in a single battleground. You need to be able to hold your own. And in that case, you're probably established enough where you can do these three here easily if you're able to do battlegrounds just fine in that case. So again, I would still just prefer to do these. And if you're not good at battlegrounds, you just want to do these anyway because they're quicker. So yeah. My advice is to do these three. With ESO Plus still being on a free trial until it's still like over 24 hours away, this one is really, really easy, and I'll show you how. So I'm going to start with this one. So what we want to do, there's a couple of items in the achievement called Carrier's Hit List. You don't have to look for this one specifically, but I find this one to be the easiest to get to and the easiest to use, because I'm pretty sure all of them, like there's people that sort of monitor around the area that you steal it, whereas the Glenumbra one is kind of like the one where you're inconvenienced the least, I guess. The one in Hughesbane isn't too bad either, but yeah. Okay, so the very first thing you need to do is travel to Hughesbane. You can do this right now with the ESO Plus free trial, regardless of if you've got the Thieves Guild DLC or not. The reason you do this is, for some reason, the trigger for starting Carrier's Hit List is to actually unlock, or like, unlock Avar's Landing for the first time. So this icon here turns from black and white to white and black. And now, if we go to Glenumbra, to Daggerfall, this is a Wayshrine you start with by default as well, so it's very easy to get here too. What we're doing is headed to this area here in Daggerfall Castle. Get inside, just run over here, and you'll see this little chest on the floor. But the only issue is this guy, when he turns around to walk this way, he gets close enough where he can spot you, but only if you don't have any modifiers to your stealth detection. So if you've got medium armor, improved sneak here, if you've got a little bit of this. If you're a Khajiit, they also get a passive that reduces their detection radius. And there's also a... what just went to the help menu? There's also a champion point called Out of Sight. This also does the same thing. So any of that stuff can make it possible for this guy not to see at all. At this point, it's like really easy to do it as well without getting a bounty. So what you need to do is search this chest. What you'll find is a gold quality item that you can steal. Now, yes, that's only one. It's like, okay, well, what do I do now? If you deconstruct this, like a magic trick, this item comes back. So you can just search it again, grab it, and now you can deconstruct it ready for next time. So that's just a guaranteed, easy way to get your hands on 2 items, blue quality or better, stolen. Off we go. Okay, next up is Veins of Ore. So, got some Dwarven Oil here. Dwarven Ore. So, I'm just going to bring up a menu. It's usually the one I always bring up, but yeah, it's always really helpful, I think. So, there's 10 types of ores in the game, and the ones that spawn depends on 2 things. It's a 50-50 split between your character's crafting level and your character's actual level. So, crafting level, just mouse your cursor over this, and that's one of the ones that can spawn. So if we go back to this this link here, you've got iron ore here, this is one of the ones that spawn. So you want to take a look at these, because this shows you an image of what the node looks like. So this is what you're looking out for when you're just running around looking for ores, veins of ore. So the other one, as you just saw there, is Dwarven ore, because I'm level 36. So the other thing is your character's level. So with this, you want to look at these levels here. This indicates which items spawn at what level. Now, I don't know what happens, say, like, if you're level 35. I don't know if you get Dwarven or a Chalcum. I have no idea. But maybe just check both, just in case. So yeah, we can see here, Dwarven ore. That's what it looks like. That's what we found in the wild just then. So yeah, so now you know what to look for. Just start running around, checking that stuff. Now, Keen Eye Ore. This can really help you if you've got access to this as well. Because if you stumble past stuff and you just are not aware of it, this, like, lights up ores that are near you, so when you get too close to them, you can actually see them with this much easier. But once you've been playing for a while, you'll start to know what they look like anyway. So there is it is the Gone for Suit for there's like a 5 voucher one that's 250 resources from the wild. There's also Veins of Ore, so you do have the Gone for Suit, and you've also got the weekly. But it's only 5 as opposed to like 50 and fucking 250 for these. So yeah, whether you want to do this, I don't think it's worth anyway, because you can just do this one, and I usually avoid all the resource ones here and still get all this stuff just fine. So yeah, personally I just go with the 5 veins for and just leave it there. But yeah, so we'll just look around and see what we can find. Now my advice here, Craiglawn is the best zone to go, because 1, it's stacked full of resources, and 2, you also get Nern Crocs if you mine the ores here, as well as the cloth plants and the wood nodes, and the jewelry nodes as well. But this is usually where everybody goes, especially right now with the ESO Plus free trial. Fucking heaps of people are running through here. But if you can find a quiet place with no people around, you can find a bunch of veins of ore very quickly here. Other than that, I just go either like the big old zones, things like old DLC zones I quite like as well, just because I find the resources are quite dense in these areas. Westfield though is kind of okay sometimes, but it's a bit of a gamble, or a bit of like a feast or famine. You go through one area and find nothing, and then you'll find a fucking gold mine of like 4 in like a small area. So yeah, all you can really do is just run around, keep your eyes peeled. But yeah, just as long as you know what the ore types look like, you'll be able to just look around and have a good idea of what to look for. There's one there. So, just kill this guy. Boo. Another one. So it's best to look sort of at the areas around like big cliffs or rocks. Usually it's more common that you'll find blacksmithing nodes through there. Now I also should mention, jewelry nodes, they unfortunately don't work. Even though sometimes you can get ores from jewelry nodes, yeah, they're jewelry sinks, they're not veins of ore, sadly. And they share the spawns with iron, like your blacksmithing ores, so they can get in the way. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, nothing you can do about that, sadly. Oh, there's one. There's 5. Yeah, took a few minutes, but Very simple. Just run around and look for the ore nodes, and that's it. Alright, so I'm about to talk about Air Atronachs, but I just want to cover two more things quickly with Veins of Ore. So firstly, surveys. If you have surveys from doing blacksmithing writs, it's a 12.5% chance per writ done, regardless of how high tier the writ is. You'll get a just a random blacksmithing survey from a zone that you're able to access. So that is 6 nodes in total, the surveys. So if you can do those, you can very easily do a set of 5 Veins of Ore. The only thing is, if it's like your last survey, if you've already done the Golden Pursuit thing for getting one survey... Where is it? I missed it. Yeah, this one here. If you've already done that, my advice is just hold on to it if it's your last one. If you've got heaps, just fucking go nuts. But yeah, sometimes you get survey endeavors, and not having one for when those come up can be a pain in the ass. And then the other thing is, while you're looking for your Air Atronachs here, this is the only place I would recommend for it. You can look for Veins of Ore first. Like while you're running around looking for these things, you can also look around for Veins of Ore as well, which can be also quite handy. Just like cutting time down between the two. Alright, so now we're getting to Air Atronachs. The only place I would recommend you look for these things is Spellscar in Craglorn. The easiest way to get here for the first time, if you haven't been to Craglorn before, either use Elenia Private Arena or use Hackfield's High Hall. So you can access these through home tours. So go home tours, browse homes, and then yeah, either go to E for Elenia Private Arena, or you go H for sorry, it's up here. Hackfield's High Hall, this one. So what you do is you just have one of these show up here. Doesn't matter which one you travel to any of them. Doesn't cost you anything. You'll rock up to the house, so you just go out the front door, and then when you leave, you'll be taken to Craglorn. If you preview the house, it doesn't work, unfortunately. It will just take you back to where you came in from. The house has to be owned by somebody else. That's the important part. So yeah, just travel on to one of those, and then just make your way over to one of the wayshrines here to get access to Spellscar. The reason you want this place is there are shit tons of Air Atronachs that spawn in these places. You're not looking for the Frost, the Fire, or the Storm Atronachs. You're looking for the these things here. It's like the stone dudes with 2 swords. So just give them a quick tap. Usually there'll be other people like rushing through and fucking obliterating everything. You might not get time to hit them. So just try your best to look for ones that like have been barely hurt yet, because they tend to be the ones that will you'll have the ability to hit. And yeah, just to be a good Samaritan to the rest of the players trying to do the same thing, don't absolutely annihilate them if there's other players around. Just let them kill them as well. Just so everybody gets participation. Because as long as you damage the Air Atronachs and then they die, you get participation for it. So yeah, I'll just make sure other people can hit it as well. There you go. Cool. And that's it. Alright, so now I'm just going to cover Infinite Archive, but I again, still don't recommend this one over the other ones. So, one way to do this is if you've got any of the coffers from completing the quest, open up the coffers, they give you an Archival Fortunes container. That has 500 fortunes in it. And that does count for this. So if you have 2 of those, you can just do this in like 5 seconds. But the amount of prep required for that is like several hours of playing Infinite Archive over the course of several days. And that's not really practical, is it? So yeah, you can do that, but that's only for like if you do Infinite Archive a lot. You know, of course you're probably going to do this one anyway, but for people who just like don't do this place often, yeah, it's not really a great option. So just to show you how Infinite Archive works, firstly, where you find it, it's in the Apocrypha Zone. Though even though it's ESO plus free trial, even if it wasn't there, you could actually access this in base game. You just travel there via a wayshrine. Everybody's got access to it, like as soon as they create a character. So this is how this system works. So you go through stages, which have just regular enemies, and then a stage boss. So these are a cycle. So cycle bosses give you your fortunes, and they give you 200 each. So you might have to do 4 in order to get 750. You get 800 or 880, I think it is, for doing ESO plus. So yeah, it'll take a while. You can get other things though. I'll see if I get one. I doubt I will. But there's like mini games that you can do, and then there's also like an enemy that pops up on the boss fight, and they can also give you more fortunes. But all in all, it's probably going to take you. I think this will take you longer, noticeably longer than the other three like easier options. So you can bring your companions in. I don't recommend it. No, I do recommend it. What am I saying? If you have a companion, just so they can at least, at the minimum, take some attention off you, especially if you're like not the greatest, don't have the greatest damage build in the world. So every time this starts off, you'll get a few melee enemies and a ranged enemy. So my advice is stick to the ranged enemy. The melee enemies will come to you anyway. So it just means that you can stack your damage abilities on the ground easier. So now we've got some Spriggans. Now, as far as I'm aware, I don't think I've had any Air Atronachs in here. Maybe one of the bosses, rarely, but there's only one. It's not enough. I don't know of any other enemies that would work anyway, so... Oh god. Yeah, on the third wave of every stage, there will be one of these bigger enemies, so it might be worth either using an ultimate or just... Yeah, just... Usually I focus the little guys first, but yeah, it's just... Yeah, it depends on how you feel. Augmented areas, so these are verses. So every time you complete a stage, you'll get a verse, and these are like powerful buffs. So if you press F5 on keyboard, I don't know what it is for console, sorry. But yeah, you can check what verse you've got here. You can also check your visions, which I'll explain later on. Alright, so now we go to the next stage. It'll be the same thing, just a repeat. So you get, oh yeah, I'll put my potions back on. I've used up my stations before. I find the little enemies are just better priority to kill. Alright, Tempest. This is pretty good. So, these verses, some of them can be great, some of them can be pretty shit. You can get a lot of different verses. Like, you can get one that just increases your world skills damage, which, if you've got scribing, is okay, but yeah, other than that, it's like... Maybe if you're using a werewolf build too, it's pretty good, but other than that, it's like, yeah, it's very niche. Alright, so we get a pretty straightforward boss here. So in the first arc, the first cycle, the first boss, usually the first boss that you get is pretty straightforward. There's just, I believe this guy's, oh god, that did a lot of damage. I believe this guy's from, is he the, oh my god, who's this? Is this a story boss? I can't remember this guy. There we go. The other guy dies with him. Yeah, I don't remember them. I'll have to look them up. So yeah, that's a Fortunes container. So every time you beat a boss, you'll get the Fortunes container. So that is 1 out of 4. You need to do that 4 times basically in order to get enough. Now, the other 2 things, while you do these boss fights, you might see something running around in the background. It looks like this. If you see this, you must kill this thing, because this dude drops 200 fortunes as well. So if you do that, and then you kill a boss, that's 2 in 1 as well. So that can speed it up. But it's never a guarantee with these guys. I don't see these things that often. The other thing is these here. So when you complete a stage or a cycle, you might see one of these things show up right next to the portal that you normally go through. And these are like mini games. So you complete like sort of... There's like one where you run around as a goat and you got to pick, like, eat sweet rolls, and then you can like use an ultimate ability that kills like some butchers running around, but the butchers will try and kill you. There's like one where you're like a watcher and you got to go find some of those like those little book pet things. I can't remember what they're called. Yeah, there's all sorts of weird stuff, and you get 200 fortunes too for completing those. So yeah, they're the 3 ways you can get fortune aside from just opening the coffers. But yeah, I don't recommend it, just because it takes fucking ages doing this one compared to the others. And then vision. So every time you complete a cycle, kill the bosses, you get a vision. So these are like verses, except usually they're not as strong, but they last the whole time. until you leave the arena. So more XP, more martial damage. I don't have a lot of martial damage, so I won't really make use of that one much. So after you use the vision, that's usually when the little portal on the side comes up. Alright, so that's the dailies done. I don't think I really need to go through more than that. The bosses that you get in the latest cycles are harder. Oh yeah, I will go through one more thing, actually. If you get a boss that's just really painful to do, and you just want to restart Infinite Archive and get one of the easier bosses from the earlier cycles, what you can do is this hourglass over here, this thing. You hit this, it will reset the archive, and when you leave, you can travel straight back in. And what this will do is it will completely reset the place. Yes, you'll have to go through stages again, but the cycle boss will be back to the first one, and you'll probably get a different role of bosses. And yeah, in the later stages, some of the late game, late cycle bosses are easy. Some of them are fucking nightmare fuel. Like Celestial Warrior, for example, I hate dealing with that. So I try to skip that one whenever I get it. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. That should be everything for now. I appreciate your support as always. If you got any questions, just give me a holler as always. So yeah, take care for now. I'll see you next time.